So before we start, there's something that we need to do, and we need to know what a stressor is. And we've been speaking so much about coping recently. I want to know how you guys cope with your stressors. For me, it's really important within this mental health training to allow you to feel as much as possible so you can start to gain an insight into what your clients feel. That's why I'm not just going to tell you, like a boring trainer, what a stressor is. No. You're going to feel it. Everybody take a balloon. And blow your balloon up. Tie your balloon. When you have blown your balloon up, come and join me at the back. Let's play a little game. This game allows you to test how you deal with stressors. Everybody, put their balloon under their chin. You are going to close your eyes while keeping your balloon under your chin. When I touch your shoulder, there's a big chance I'm going to pop your balloon. If you don't feel a touch, that's okay, you're not under threat. If you feel a touch on your shoulder, you are not allowed to open your eyes. If the balloon pops, the balloon pops. Now, this is really important. During this game, nobody is allowed to touch anybody else. The only person who touches somebody is me. This is going to give you an insight into how you deal with stressful situations. Make sure you keep your balloon directly under your chin. If you feel a touch on your shoulder, there's a big chance your balloon is about to be popped. But not necessarily. Are we ready? Everyone close your eyes. Nobody open your eyes. If you open your eyes, you lose. Everyone close your eyes. Do not open your eyes. Do not open your eyes. So, okay, everybody open your eyes. Okay. Well, first thing, you guys have a really low level of trust for me, don't you? I would never hurt you. Okay. Some of you got your shoulders touched. Some of you didn't. For those of you who got your shoulders touched, How did it feel? How did you cope? How did the stress feel? How did you cope with it?
Anh như có nhìn ngọt cái này đâu ngọt ai chị thật thấy cả mình mà lúc đấy là kiểu nhắm mắt thì chờ đợi chui lên hết cả tay
Sweaty hands, feeling afraid, feeling something in your body, maybe a little bit hot in your body. Yes. Did any of you feel something in your bodies? Like you're speaking about hands. Did you feel something rising in your bodies? A feeling of real stress, tightening, and almost a feeling rising from your stomach? Yes. That is a new neurotransmitter, the feeling caused by a new neurotransmitter that I haven't introduced to you yet. That one's called cortisol, and that is the stress hormone. So there is, of course, everything we do in this room, there is a reason. Now, our interventions are going to be based on our new psychoeducation for our clients, are going to be based on facilitating them, empowering them to understand their own stresses, what stresses them out. And when we empower them to figure out what their stresses are, only then can we work with our clients to facilitate healthy coping strategies. Remember this feeling of stress. It's really important because stress, as you all just experienced, makes your bodies do things that you don't necessarily want it to do, and it gives you a very uncomfortable, uneasy feeling in your minds. You all, in one way or another, felt triggered emotionally or physically as well. And that is what a stressor is. Something that creates a negative emotional or physical response. And to make it, to simplify this even more, I took away one of your universal long-term needs. In fact, I took away 2 or even 3 of your universal long-term needs. Can you tell me maybe which of the long-term needs I took from you? Autonomy. Control and autonomy. Yes, I took that from you. How? How did you feel out of control? Yes, you weren't allowed to move or open your eyes or do anything. You had to stay there still and just allow what was going to happen to you happen to you. In that moment, I had control over your bodies and your whole emotions, and it didn't feel comfortable. But control and autonomy wasn't the only thing I took from you, because I took more of these. What else did I take? Let me ask you, did you all feel safe? No. I took that from you. You thought you were unsure as to whether, if the balloon popped, whether it would cause you pain, or whether it might damage your ears because of the sound. And I believe I took a third one from you. What I took away was your privacy. How did I take away your privacy? Your eyes were closed, and because your eyes were closed, you didn't know who was looking at you or not. You didn't know when I was observing you or when anybody else were observing you. So I took away some of your needs in a few ways, and it felt very uncomfortable, didn't it? Now, there are ways in which people deal with stress generally, and I'm going to explain that to you now because I'm going to transform the room again. What you might have noticed or might not have noticed is I have split this part of the room into 3 sections. And this section here to this section right here represents your safety zone. And in your safety zone, you feel just right. You feel safe, you feel happy, and you feel loved. But something starts to stress you out. Now, there are 2 types of people. There are people that will start to go this way out of their safety zone and start to get their blood rate will go a little bit faster, their heart rate will go a little bit faster, and they start to get angry, and they start to fight, and they start to get aggressive. This is called hyperarousal. The second type of person, when they deal with stress, they go the other way. And what these people do is they start to shut down. They might cry and they might withdraw. This is called hypoarousal. Hyper and hypo. Some of you might not be sure about this. So I want to play another stress game with you. So then after this game, you can tell me how you deal with stress when you start to leave your safety zone. Okay, listen to me carefully because the instructions for this one are quite complex. I'm going to split you all into groups of 4, and you are going to test each other's levels of stress. In each group, we're going to start with person number 1. Person number 1 will stand in the middle. Person number 2 will stand on the side, and person number 3 on the other side, facing each other. Chang, just come here. Person number 4 will stand in front. So you're standing in a square. Person number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we are all going to do things and ask person number 1 questions. Person number 1 has to answer and do everything at the same time. Okay, listen carefully. Person number 1 answers the questions. Person number 2 asks person number 1 personal questions. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite color? At the same time, person number 3 asks person number 1 trivia questions. What's 2 times 2? What's the capital of Vietnam? What's the capital of Thailand? At the same time, person number 4 moves, and person number 1 has to copy, all at the same time. Now, here's the important part. If at any time person number 1 stops doing what you say, so they stop answering your questions, or they stop moving, we're going to stop and go, meh, meh, meh. That was an extremely loud, extremely kind of interactive game, but it was done for a reason. That game gives you the best insight into whether you belong here when you get stressed and when you start to leave your safety zone. If you go this way into being a little bit more close to eruption, angry, aggressive, maybe responses, or whether you belong here in the withdrawal, crying, feeling awkward, not wanting to be associated with anyone zone. Please move to your zone now. Which one do you think you would go to if you leave your safety zone? So we have the people who are more likely to react angrily and in frustration here. And we have the people who are most likely to withdraw, become anxious, and reject people and cry, these kind of actions over here. So this is an important thing to be able to talk to your clients about. The clients and how they react when they leave their safety zone. If they tell you that they react like this, or they react like this, it's perfectly normal. But I'd like to invite the number 1s that told us about their strategy. These number 1s are special. What these number 1s did is they created for themselves healthy coping strategies. What they did is they increased the size of their safety zone because they used these coping strategies. It was more difficult for them to go here or here because they were coping within their safety zone. The number ones, not like you, the number ones who panicked, like, those number ones, they actually didn't use coping strategies and therefore shrunk their safety zone. If your safety zone is smaller, it's easier for you to go into hyperarousal, and it's much also easier for you to go into hypoarousal and withdraw. So with our interventions that we are going to offer to our clients, we must be able to talk to them about this safety zone, and our interventions must be about widening their safety zone, giving them healthy and positive coping mechanisms. And that, everybody, is exactly what the intervention package that I have for you over the next few days will do. They will aim to help you empower your clients to widen this zone so they don't get here or there, but they stay in their safety zone feeling happy and peaceful. Yes? Everybody, we have spoken about the safety zone and what can happen when you leave the safety zone. And we've spoken about the power of widening the safety zone to stay within it and to keep happy and peaceful and mentally strong. Now, the aim of you guys knowing this is so you can begin to apply this knowledge in the advice that you give to your clients about mental health, but also in your interventions. So, what type of stressors exist? What are some examples of stressors that might cause us to begin to leave our safety zones in one way or another? Here are some examples of this. Now, for example, for the first one, tiredness or fatigue. If our safety zone is really small and we feel really stressed because of tiredness and fatigue, we can start to go to one of the sides of the safety zone and A good example of this, a good working example of this, is for us when we're hungry and tired at the same time. Is anyone of us a real nightmare when we're hungry or tired, or hungry and tired at the same time? For sure. The reason people can start to lose their temper and start to blow up in either way is because their safety zone with that particular issue is quite small. And what they need is coping strategies that will help them to widen this safety zone so they don't leave this safety zone here.